Hey everyone, Demon BrewCraft here, and we make free D&D resources. On today's episode of Myth to D&D, we're going to go ahead and be looking at the Gugwe and transforming it into a creature we can use in Dungeons & Dragons. Let's get started with the lore of the Gugwe. Real quick before we get started, I wanted to go ahead and shout out to Tani for their recommendation on our last episode, the Mahinen. I forgot to add them last time. And for this current video, this was suggested by Tier 1 Norseman. Thank you for this idea. We're going to go ahead and cover the Gugwe. The Gugwe, also known as the Face Eater, is a cryptid deeply rooted in Native American folklore, particularly among the Mi'kmaq and Iroquois people of northeastern North America. The creature is said to inhabit the dense forests of the region and is often described as elusive and a dangerous entity. Its name is derived from Native American languages. It roughly translates to wild man or man-eater, reflecting its fearsome reputation. Legends of the Gugwe have been passed down orally for generations, warning of its predatory nature and its preference for targeting isolated humans or intruding hunters. The Gugwe is described as a hybrid between a man and a beast, with features reminiscent of both primates and predatory animals. It stands between 6 and 8 feet tall, with a muscular humanoid body covered in thick, coarse fur that ranges from dark brown to black. Its most striking feature is its wolf-like or baboon-like face, complete with sharp, protruding canines and a prominent snout. This facial structure is what earned it the nickname Face Eater, and as legends claim, it often targets the face of its victims during attacks. Its hands and feet are equipped with sharp claws, and its eyes are often said to glow red or yellow. The Gugwe's origins are steeped in mystery and speculation. Some indigenous stories suggest that it is a spiritual being or guardian of the wilderness, punishing those who disrespect nature. Others depict it as a flesh and blood creature, possibly a relic species or an undiscovered primate that has adapted to the remote forests. Cryptozoologists who have studied the Gugwe reports often compare it to other North American cryptids like Bigfoot or the Wendigo, though the Gugwe is considered more aggressive and carnivorous in nature. Modern sightings of the Gugwe are rare but not unheard of, with reports trickling from the northeastern United States and Canada. Witnesses often describe encounters involving guttural growls, eerie howls, or glimpses of shadowy, upright figure moving swiftly through the forest. Unlike Bigfoot, which is often described as shy or reclusive, the Gugwe is frequently associated with acts of aggression or territorial displays. Some theories suggest that the creature's aggressive nature could be due to scarcity of food or competition with other predators. If you like our content, feel free to like and subscribe the video so that you're the first in the know when we drop new series videos or new contents within our Google Drive, which is full of free resources for your D&D campaigns. Now, on to the nitty-gritty details on the Gugwe. So here's our Gugwe token. Let's go ahead and go over the stat block on it. The Gugwe is a large monstrosity that is chaotic evil, has an armor class of 18 via its natural armor, hit point average of 275, it's a 25d10 plus 125 for a roll. Speed is 40 feet, and it also has a climb speed of 40 feet. Strength of 24, Dex of 16, Constitution of 20, Intelligence of 10, Wisdom of 14, Charisma of 12. It has saving throws and Strength of plus 12, Constitution of plus 10, and Wisdom plus 7. It has skill proficiencies and Perception of plus 8, Stealth of plus 8, Survival plus 7. It has damage resistances to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. It has damage immunities to poison and psychic, and condition immunities to charmed, frightened, and poisoned. Its senses are dark vision of 120 feet with a passive perception of 18. It understands Common and Sylvan for its languages, and is a challenge level of 17. Traits: keen senses. The Gugwe has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing or smell. Predatory ambush. If the Gugwe surprises a creature, it can make 2 bite attacks as part of its first turn. Terrifying howl, which has a recharge of 5. The Gugwe lets out an unearthly howl, Each creature of its choice within 60 feet that can hear it must succeed a difficulty class 18 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened for 1 minute. A frightened creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Actions. Multi-attack. The Gugwe makes 3 attacks, 1 with its bite and 2 with its claws. Bite. It's a melee weapon attack with a plus 12 to hit, reach of 5 feet, and hits 1 target. It hits for 48 plus 7 piercing damage. Claws is a melee weapon attack with a plus 12 to hit, reach of 10 feet, hits 1 target. Hits for a 2d10 plus 7 slashing damage. Let's go ahead and quickly test the damage on that. We'll grab a damage dummy here. Just put it in range of the Gugwe. As usual for our simulations, we're going to pretend that all of these moves hit, so we're not going to be rolling hit dice. So bite's going to be a 48 plus 7. Okay, we land 10 on that one. And then we're going to do 2 claws next, which is a 2d10 plus 7. And then again. So that multi-attack would have done a total of 10 plus 26 plus 21, which is a pretty decent amount of damage. Its last action is Face Rake with a recharge of 6. The Gugwe targets 1 creature it can see within 5 feet of it. The target must make a difficulty check 18 dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 10d8 slashing damage and is blinded for a full minute. A blinded creature can make a difficulty class 18 constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the blindness on a success. Again, we'll simulate the damage here, pretending that all the hits go through. So it's a 10d8, which deals 39. That's some pretty chunky damage. And then it goes ahead and it blinds them. And they, of course, can make the difficulty class 18 Constitution saving throw at the end of their turn to try and get rid of that blindness early. That lasts a minute, usually. Alrighty, the Gugwe is indeed a legendary creature. Thus, they will have legendary actions. The Gugwe can take 2 legendary actions, choosing from the options below. Only 1 legendary action can be used at a time, and only at the end of another creature's turn. The Gugwe regains spent legendary actions at the start of its turn. Lunge. The Gugwe moves up to its speed towards a creature it can see. This movement does not provoke opportunity attacks. And then Savage Rend, which will cost 2 legendary actions to use. The Gugwe makes 1 claw attack. If the attack hits, the target must succeed a difficulty class 18 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. So on top of the normal claw damage it does, it's also going to have a chance to inflict prone if they fail the difficulty class 18 saving throw for strength. The Gugwe also has mythic actions. If the Gugwe's hit points are reduced to 0, it uses its Last Stand ability and regains 150 hit points for the remainder of the encounter, and gains the following action. Before we go over that, let's quickly cover Last Stand. When the Gugwe is reduced to 0 hit points, its rage and hunger drives it to a berserk state. It immediately regains 150 hit points and emits a guttural roar. All creatures of its choice within 60 feet must make a difficulty check 18 Wisdom saving throw or be frightened for 1 minute. Frenzied Assault is the mythic action it gets access to after Last Stand. It has a recharge of 6. The Gugwe makes 1 bite attack and 2 claw attacks against a single target within reach. If all 3 attacks hit, the target must succeed a difficulty class 18 Constitution saving throw, or be paralyzed for 1 minute. The paralyzed target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Essentially, Frenzied Assault is the multi-attack. However, with the caveat of if all 3 attacks hit, then it inflicts paralyzed, which is going to cause it to do even more damage, because while you're paralyzed, the melee attacks are going to guaranteed be critical hits. And that's our Gugwe. I think for a CR17, it's pretty well balanced. We have high HP, we have incredibly aggressive attacks, especially on single targets, and very, very high difficulty class saves that need to be made in order to avoid the various conditions it puts on people. As usual, all resources that you will need for this will be located in the Google Doc below. Check under the Myth to D&D folder for this episode's resources. You can click on the video on the left to go ahead and see our very first sponsorship we did on a AI platform called AI Realm, which is a really nice tool for DMs to go ahead and test scenarios just like this one if you want to go ahead and see how they play out with your players, or even vice versa. Check the full video by clicking on it. Other than that, see you all later.